Good evening, everyone. Am I audible on your side?
Yeah, you are, but the background music,
Hi, good evening.
There seems to be a problem with the technical. Am I audible?
You're audible now, Wilbur, compared to that earlier.
Thank you, Cha.
Evening, everyone.
So, may I request everyone to find a comfortable seat within your homes or wherever you are in the Philippines or in the world, wherever you may be, because in a few minutes we will be starting the program. Thank you. We would like to acknowledge the presence of our Assistant Dean, Attorney. Ma'am, welcome to the meeting. I request everyone to please get a comfortable seat because in 7:15 we will start the program. We'd also like to encourage everyone if you want to change your virtual background, virtual backgrounds are available. That is to be routed by your class representatives. Thank you. It would be better if we change our virtual background. So good evening, everyone. Since it's already 7:15, we will formally start the program by an invocation followed by the singing of the national anthem. I believe everyone is already excited to hear our candidates and to know them more. So for some of us, it's our first time to actually experience an election since we entered into law school, myself included. And also, this is the first virtual election and first virtual meeting the Avance at that, if I'm not mistaken. So I believe that you will make a right decision after tonight, and hopefully you are excited to cast your votes tomorrow. So yes, we can start the invocation and the singing of the national anthem.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم. In the name of Allah, With whose name there is protection against every kind of harm in the earth or in the heaven, and He is the all-hearing and all-knowing. Allahumma ameen, 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 ya Rabbal Alameen.
Dear Lord, we praise you and worship you today. You are exalted in our midst. We ask forgiveness for every sins we have done. Have mercy on us, our Father. As we start our program today, let your guidance and protection be upon us. Send your Spirit to us and give us wisdom. We thank you for all of the blessings we have received. We also thank you for the lives of the people in this place. Be glorified in everything we do. In your name, our Lord. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, pero sa sinananan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyagan ang magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pagkaw, ay hinagang tulang awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang islang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na naghihingi, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magtitinig. Lumalang araw ng walhaging pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pagkay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
So good evening once again. I believe everyone is excited, but first of all, I would like to have a temperature check first so that at least we can ease the tension and the anxiety of our candidates, because I believe they have already prepared for this, and maybe some of them are nervous to answer your question. So if you are here, may I see the screen, your screen with a heart reacts. Come on, please. I believe that you can do the heart reacts on your screen. Thank you very much. There you go. Thank you for your participation. Okay, thank you. And to formally welcome everyone for this meeting the Avance, let us all welcome the ever dynamic and ever beautiful Assistant Dean of the MSU College of Law Iligan Extension, our beloved Attorney Joanna Alinog de Socorro, for the opening remarks. Let's give her a round of applause, please.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, Attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So, Assalamualaikum and good evening, everyone. If I remember it right, the dynamic and the ever beautiful is for Dean Nabs. So, repeat sa ako. Anyway, I would like to welcome all students present in the Zoom room tonight. But before I forget, I would like to thank first the candidates for participating in the election. Okay? Albeit the term for the service is really short. If I am not mistaken, Dean Nabs informed me that the elected officers will serve the term of second semester, academic year 2021 to 2022 only, meaning only one semester, and we will have again our election after that. But I know with this short term, you will still give all your best to serve the college. This is my first time as your assistant dean to witness a meeting the Avance of the students running for a position in the college. Indeed, too many first time. First virtual election, first virtual meeting the Avance. So I'm excited to hear all your reasons, principles, or hugot, however do you call it, why you are running for the respective positions. Whoever will win, I will wholly support your plans or dreams for the betterment of the College of Law Iligan Extension. Thank you once again to all of you for considering to run. Okay, whether you win or not, for me, this effort is already worth recognizing. You know, it is not easy to juggle study of law and service to the college at the same time. Yet, you know, despite that, you chose to participate in this election. So thank you. Thank you all. COMELEC, thank you too. You were able to pursue this despite short notice. So good luck. Good luck, candidates. Thank you. That's all from me.
Thank you, AD, for that very short but very encouraging opening remarks. And also, indeed, albeit short, I believe that the candidates are willing to serve the college and also the studentry. And also, running for the position is also a feat in itself that deserves recognition and that deserves showing of love. So, in connection to that, I would like everyone to show support and love to our candidates before we go to the main event for tonight. So please, again, I would like you to click your heart reacts so that we can show them some love and at least ease the tension. And I believe that they are already nervous to answer your questions. And also, please don't be hard on them, right? Because maybe some of you will ask cross-examination like questions, but I believe also that they will answer it perfectly. So before we start the ball rolling, I would like to go over first the guidelines for tonight's meeting, the Avance. So each candidate will be given at most 5 minutes to introduce themselves and their platforms. And for the Q&A, the question shall be typed in the message section of the Zoom meeting. And also, it will be based on current issues that concern the student tree. And each candidate will be given 2 minutes to answer a question and 1 minute to answer a follow-up. And mode of communication shall be in Filipino or English, whichever the candidate prefers. And a moderator, yours truly, shall oversee the flow of the meeting and shall provide the questions for each of the candidates to discuss. So are you ready, candidates? Are you ready? I cannot see them, but I believe they are ready. So the order of presentation of platforms and the introduction of the candidates will be from president down to PIO. So let's start the ball rolling for the president, and the only person who really take on the challenge of and responsibilities of the presidency this semester. So let us all welcome Mr. Naim Nohar A. Suba. Let's give him a round of applause. And sir, you may take the screen.
Hello, thank you. So, Martin Luther King said, take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Maayong gabi sa tanan. Good evening, everyone. At the outset, allow me to introduce myself. I am Naim Nuhar Ali Suba, a fourth-year student of this college. I am the current treasurer of the Supreme Law Student Council, or the SLSC, for 3 years now. I am an incumbent student leader of the SLSC, running and hoping to continue my leadership. Now the Supreme Law Student Council election of new leader is upon us. Tomorrow actually is the election day, and I am truly thankful, humbled, moving forward, and grateful to be unopposed. And I am more than thankful to my friends, to my colleagues, for their confidence in me. Now, to lead is to lead by example. And to lead by example, I will go for fairness and equity. With the corresponding powers, duties, and responsibilities, I will use this position with full integrity, honesty, and exercise justice. And I believe that in leading, as a leader, you need to empower your people. I am more convinced that the students of this college, our college, can be the engine to a more efficient and effective rendition of services. And with that, I am honored to run amongst the list of fine candidates who are also great leaders in their own right. I am for RV S. Gandamra as the college PIO, a registered nurse by profession, and with her expertise as a team leader of PhilHealth customer relations for 9 years. Once elected, we aim to initiate in providing a reasonable student aid or student assistance on hospitalization and untimely death of bona fide students of this college. Husay at malasakit. I am for Ivan C. Iblamo, CPA, for college auditor. Ivan is a certified public accountant by profession. Building linkages to some government agency is one of his sensitivities. He believes that the MSU law should place its spot on the government participation. Husay at malasakit. I am for Najeb R. Amboloto, CPA, as the college treasurer. He is a one talented man. Najeb is a friend, a certified public accountant, a top certified tax technician. So with his expertise in accounting and background, both in finance and management, he will be a great asset in the council. Husay at malasakit. I am for Engineer Rindel John D. Rolona as the college secretary. He is a one determined man. He is determined to create and spearhead the creation of an archival system of the enrollment documents and other records that would ease our future transactions. Also, he aims in the processing of the renewal of our student IDs and for the issuance of those who have not received any identification cards from this college. Husay at malasakit. And yes, I am for Muhammad L. Ampaso, CPA, as my running mate and be the college's vice president. A certified public accountant by profession, a certified tax technician, and a state auditing examiner of the Commission on Audit. He is one decorated leader. As my partner, we would like to initiate efforts that could help us actualize our main goal. What was our main goal? To become lawyers. So through the organization of lecture series and remedial sessions designed to support the students, designed to support us, students of this college, husay at malasakit. Now, fostering a greater inclusion of the studentry is one of our top priorities. Further, to act responsibly in ways of our thinking and in our actions, and to show greater concern for others, for the student body, is a primary concern in leading and in service. So we aim to continue what was the established culture of excellent leadership for the past years through care and understanding. So you be part of a building an excellent future. And the first steps starts with having faith in us. So again, a blessed night to all. Thank you and wassalam.
Thank you very much, Mr. Naim, for that wonderful speech. Indeed, everyone is excited for your term this coming semester. And I believe that everyone is excited for the platforms that you have laid down. And also this time, we will be entertaining questions from the students. So please don't shy away to ask questions and type your questions on the Zoom meeting box so that I can read it for Sir Naim. Okay, a question from Ted. As the campus transitions into a new era with new leadership, how will you work to be a liaison between the new MSU Law Dean and the Iligan Extension student body? You may go ahead, Sir Naim.
So, over the past years, I have been a public servant. I have served a different organization, different affiliations. I have been affiliated with different persons, different personalities, of different backgrounds. Now, with the coming of a new MSU Law Dean, I think it's not something of different. I think as a public servant, as a person who likes to lead, who likes to empower people, I need to always go back with my core values. Why did I run? Why did I take the responsibility? Why did I take the duty? And that is to serve to serve the people, not to serve any of high personality. So whoever be is the dean, or whoever is the dean to serve the college, I am here as the president, inshallah, to help him to materialize our goals, both my goal, both the goal of the council, both the goal of the new MSU law dean. Everyone, we need to win as a group, we need to win as a community for us to materialize and to achieve what the college, what the MSU wants or needed to achieve. So I think it would be immaterial regardless of who sits in the position.
Thank you very much for that wonderful answer indeed. And also, we believe that you are indeed deserving for the position, being the brave one that only run for the position of presidency. Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Naim.
you.
Other
Thank you,
question
Commissioner.
from the students, please. All right, another question from the students. Granting the limited funds of the college and with the overwhelming plans and programs of the candidates, how will you achieve all cost efficiently?
Now, with the platforms laid by me, it's only an initiatory. Details will be given to you by my fellow candidates. And I think the major plan of, or the priority of our lineup is to materialize all the events, all the programs that we want to achieve without sacrificing greater or an increase in the contributions from the students. Now, I have been in the college for 3 years as the treasurer. And what I am most proud of as the treasurer of this college is that though we entered into pandemic during the second semester of my term, of our term back in 2019 to 2020 academic year, never did we, the SLSC, ask for any contribution for the following academic year. We did not ask for any contribution from the students for the academic year 2020 to 2021, because that's how efficient and how knowledgeable one should take place as a treasurer or in the treasury. My team has been an excellent team. Knowing that despite the pandemic, we were able to materialize or realign all the events into the events that were required to be performed. Now, to make the story short, what I have applied as the treasurer in allocating or in carefully expending the funds from the students of the college is what we will do in maximizing all the efforts, all the programs, all the events that we would like to achieve as a council in this coming academic year, or for the particular matter in the second sem of AY 2021 to 2022.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Naim. For the information of our candidates, we'll only be entertaining 3 questions at most. So this will be the last question for you, Mr. Naim. Under your leadership, considering we are still in the midst of a pandemic, will the SLSC propose and or facilitate automated enrollment processes?
Now, to facilitate automated enrollment processes bears consequences. Now, if we have to consider cost efficiency and at the same time protecting the students from the harmful or the risk that we could encounter having a face-to-face enrollment processes, I think the better solution or the better answer to your question is only a modified automated enrollment processes. It is really difficult for us to facilitate an automated enrollment processes, knowing that to gain an assistance from the college, from the main campus, is another question, is another difficult task. I think we need to make use what the college, the Iligan campus has. So my answer to that question is, if the modified, automated or modified enrollment process is enough, so long as we are protected, no risk, no students is at risk, then I think we don't need to be ambitious, so long as we put into action what needed to be done.
Thank you very much, Sir Naims. We have already heard his thoughts, and I believe that you have already seen what he is made of. So thank you very much again, Mr. Naim, and let's give him a virtual round of applause for that very good performance, for very good answers. So we'll proceed with the vice presidential aspirants. For the information of the candidates as well, since we will be limiting our time, we will automatically mute you if you have exceeded your time limit. So please be advised. So let us start with Mr. Muhammad El Ampaso. Or no, let's start with Cha Abugan because she's already on the screen. All right, we'll start with Muhammad Ampaso. That's better. Thank you, Ted. Let's start with Mr. Ampaso, sir. The screen is yours, sir.
Good evening and Assalamualaikum. I am Muhammad Lumundot Ampaso from third year Arellano, running for the position of Vice President, the Supreme Law Student Council. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel humbled to have been given this amazing opportunity to campaign and serve again in the student body. I'm still doing this craft until right now, from my undergrad days until I become professional, and I will be happy serving again. Ladies and gentlemen, vision, as it may be, is one of the most important qualities a leader should carry. And so, by closely working with the president and other officers, I would like to initiate efforts that could help us actualize our goal in becoming lawyers through the organization of lecture series and remedial sessions designed to support students and target subjects and topics that needs attention. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just to supplement our knowledge, but of course, doing these lectures and remedial sessions is also a form of community service. We can assist the community by, for example, if we're going to do a lecture series about election law, election law is not just relevant to the second year, not just relevant to the fifth year, not just relevant to all of us law students. It can also be relevant to non-law students, especially election is coming near. I would like to propose some topics that could be relevant to non-law students and also to the law students. Second, accompanying is the creation of an inclusive and reader-friendly compendium of notes and synopsis that may come in handy in coordination with the entire MSU law and its extensions. Ladies and gentlemen, highlighting compassion and service, it is my purpose to set up inspiration and motivation that spread throughout the college. Alongside the president and other officers, I will willingly set the direction for the different student services programs and activities that will enhance opportunities to every student here in MSU Law Iligan Extension. Sa mga law students, hindi po ako nag-iisa. Kasama ko po ang aking kupunan para sa pagka-presidente, Naim Nuhar Suba, Vice Presidente Muhammad Ampaso, Secretary Reverendo Luna, Najeb Ambuloto for Treasurer, Ivan Iblamo for Auditor, RV Gandamra for PIO. Sana po ay bigyan niyo po kami ng pagkakataong inyong maging boses, kaibigan at leader na magbibigay ng serbisyong mahusay at may malasakit. Maraming salamat. Magandang gabi.
Thank you for that speech, Mr. Ampaso. Now the students are invited to ask their questions. If you have questions, please go and ask away. No questions for Mr. Ampaso. Okay, since the students have no question, we prepared a question for you. So what do you think sets you apart from your fellow candidates, and what makes you think you are a better fit for the position?
I know that the one Miss Chaabugan is a full-time student, and I am also a working student. Like many students will assume that Miss Chaabugan will fit on the position, but I believe that working at the same time serving another organization will not be an hindrance for me to serve the student body. Like I've been working, I've been serving the student body. What I'm trying to say is that even though she is full-time and I am working, I just have to do this time management, because leadership skill will not matter if you don't know how to manage your time. And also, I have to strategize things and also believe that you don't need to work hard, but you have to work smart. And accountants do it without losing their balance. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Ampaso. Any more questions from the students? No more questions from the students? I think there is none. Okay, there is a question from Caliph Amindato. Of all the positions, why are you running to the position of vice president when you could also be a president?
Okay, so thank you for that question. I am running for the position of vice president because I really want to assist Naim Nohar Subak in making or realizing his plans and programs for the next semester. Like we've been working together before when we are officers in Junior Philippine Institute of Accountants as his vice president. And I believe that he fits that position, and I know that being the vice president, I could support him in serving and giving service na may husay at malasakit. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ampaso. Now for the last question. How important is decision making to you?
Important, how important? It is very important. Like I always that's very important in everything that in every circumstances that happens to your life, like not just here in law school, but it's really important. Yeah. Like decision making is very as a proof that I am doing, or I am really making sure that my decision is good or better. Like I entered here in law school working, and at the same time you have to juggle your time. So I really have to strategize things. I really have to consolidate information and do time management for me to come up a better decision. Then I believe that it is really important. Like if you decide without considering factors, it could affect, or you don't know, it could affect to unfavorable, like it will be unfavorable. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ampaso. Now, I think there is a relevant question for you, and I believe it would be best if you answer this. Is being a CPA relevant to being an effective leader?
No, not necessary. Not just every profession can be an effective leader. It's just that when you are a CPA, there is this line that will remind you always that accountants do it without losing their balance. So from that line statement, you will not forget, or you will really consider all of things for you to become an effective leader. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ampaso. Now you have heard his thoughts. Now let's proceed to Ms. Cha Abugan, the other candidate for Vice President. Thank you, Mr. Ampaso, for that.
Good evening, everyone. Wilbur on everyone. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you, Cha.
Okay. So to our distinguished Assistant Dean to the Iligan Extension Campus, Attorney Joanna Disocor, to the very hardworking staff of the COMELEC and all the other working committees involved tonight, to my fellow fourth year students, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good evening rather, sorry. Well, anyways, I do not wish to say more. I do not wish to consume the entire 5 minutes blabbering a lot of words in this platform. Instead, I would rather allow our service records in the college to do the talking for you. For the information of everybody, especially for those who came in the College of Law during the pandemic, I have been in the service to the college for more than 2 years now. And with that, I never had regrets spending so much time and effort just to serve the college selflessly. With respect to my government, with respect to my platforms, the following are here are my platforms for my governance. First, I categorize it into two. We begin with the areas wherein wherein it is within the ambit of our full control, such as we are going to provide for college evaluation, for activities that are for activities that are led by the college, so that in that we may be able to assess where and how we can improve on, and that we may be able to apply that in the following activities. Second, I would like also to propose that there be an evaluation for the SLSE officers. With that, we will be able to assess the capacity and the performance of our student leaders in the college. Also, if I will be given the chance to be elected as your vice president, it will allow me to provide the checks and balances of the organization's top leader, while being able to influence other officers and develop teamwork and synergy as well. Going back to my second category of my platforms, these are the activities which requires collaboration, especially to our officers in the admin level. With respect to those, I would actively update, especially on building connections between the studentry and our administrative body, and being a vehicle, or at least a representative that will help them voice out the concerns of the studentry. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I won't promise you a perfect and infallible governance, because as the former Vice President JFK said, I would rather break precedents than break promises. But rest assured, ladies and gentlemen, that I will always be at your service, by the student, for the student. Thank you so much, and good evening.
Thank you very much, Ms. Charity Jean Abugan, for that wonderful speech. Now the students, let us hear your questions so that it can be addressed by Ms. Cha. Okay, a question from City. What makes the service to the studentry of MSU College of Law worthy of your time and effort?
To be very honest to everyone, I don't know, but I have this in me that I can't stop myself from being involved, especially in community services. And it gives me the satisfaction that I was able to help somebody, because I know the feeling of being helpless and to be in that particular situation. And the MSU College of Law community somehow has become my family for the past 4 years now. So the time and effort that I allocate in the service of the college will always be something that I consider happy kapoy, as we call that in life.
Thank you very much, Sha, for that answer. Now, the next question for you. What are some contemporary issues within the MSU Law Iligan Extension student body that you feel need to be addressed?
Thank you so much for that question. Well, for me personally, one of the contemporary issues within the MSU Law Iligan Extension student body that is really timely and relevant in our circumstances these days is that I think there is a need for the student to be reminded of our morals, especially in our relationships with our professors. I think we should be able to still draw the line between being a student and being somebody else's outside of the college. So I think that's one.
Thank you, Cha. Now, the last question for you from Miss Orbistondo. How is a vice president not a spare tire?
A vice president is not a spare tire because, well, on top of being a support system from the president, there are still other tasks or activities that can be effectively carried by the vice president, especially during those times where the president himself is fully loaded or a lot has been going on to his plate. And in fact, that doesn't make the office of the vice presidency as a spare tire.
Thank you, Cha. So I believe we have heard our vice presidential candidates, and you already have an idea who to vote tomorrow. So please vote wisely. Thank you, Miss Charity Jean Abugan, and thank you also to Mr. Muhammad El Ampaso for answering the questions fairly well. So we will be going to the next position, the secretary. The candidates are Mr. Rolona, Miss Amil, and Mr. Zaragoza. So we'll start with Mr. Rolona. You may take the screen.
Okay, hello and good evening, College of Law. Am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
I am Rendell Rolona from second year Tihanki, and I stand here as a candidate for the position of secretary. I have a confession to make. Actually, I was hesitant to run as your leader up until a few days ago. The College of Law has always been intimidating for me because the law is simply sacred. And our professors are so good in what they do that you just aspire to be like them. And the more you do, the more you realize how far there is yet to go. And I am not the smartest student. I'm not even part of the top 10 in my class, and I do not stand out. At best, I am just average. But until a few days ago, I was made to realize that what the SLSC needs is not a top student, but a leader. And if there's anything that my friends could describe me with, aside from being fun and spontaneous, they surely will describe me as a leader. I have been a leader ever since I could remember. I have years of experience being a service leader, being a public servant, and being a service leader is difficult. They are not compensated for their efforts, and they are expected to work on top of their own busy schedule of being a student, of which every one of us here knows that it is already demanding in itself. From my experience, when pressure and anxiety from the world's demands of responsibility kick in, you would want a leader who would stand their ground and has a fortified and strong foundation of their reasons why they chose to run. Now, as the great Dr. Paul Farmer once said, the idea that some lives matter less is the root of all that is wrong in this world. That is my principle, my why power. That is my reason to run. Once elected as your secretary, I will be empowered to represent you and make your voice be heard. I thrive in the thought of having helped someone and restoring their faith in a system they thought they had no one to turn to. What brings me joy is bridging the gaps of possibilities and making things happen to create opportunities for human interaction and human connection. Being a student in a virtual learning setup, I have seen the difficulties and the limitations we have. And this makes things difficult when we have to be required to have documents we thought we were already in record to be submitted. And we would be asked for data that we thought were already in a system of some sort. There seems to be a gap. Well, with these firsthand experiences and in my capacity in my capacity, once elected as your secretary, I will spearhead the creation of an archival system of enrollment documents and other pertinent records that would ease our future transactions. And it would also be my priority to assist the processing of student IDs, most especially for those students who don't even have their student ID number. Ladies and gentlemen, College of Law, I am very honored to have been amongst the ranks of my fellow candidates for secretary, as they are very fine leaders in their own right. But if you vote for me, you will not just have a leader backed with years of experience of selfless service. You will have a leader you are sure that will stand his ground and will have your back. As your secretary, I will bring excellence to another level through care and understanding. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not standing here alone. I am with my team. If you vote for me, vote for all of us. Naim Suba for president, Muhammad Ampaso for vice president, Rendel Rolona for secretary, Najeb Amboloto for treasurer, Ivan Eblamo for auditor, and RV Gandamra for PIO. Iboto niyo po kami para sa pamumunong may husay at malasakit. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Mr. Rolona, for that speech. May I ask the students to type your questions in the chat box so that we can ask Mr. Rolona and hear what are his thoughts. I only see cheers. Come on, guys, let's ask a question. Okay, there's a question. It was directly messaged. If you are not doing your best in something you are aspiring, that is to be a lawyer, how can we be assured that you are in for being officer? I will repeat the question. If you are not doing your best in something you are aspiring, and that is to be a lawyer, how can we be assured that you are in for being officer?
Well, thank you so much for that question. But first and foremost, I think I have a problem with the question because it already says that I am not passionate with my journey in law school. First and foremost, I would not enroll myself. I would not run as your leader if I am not sure of myself, of my journey, and of my dream of becoming a law student. Yes, thank you so much. How can I stand here in front of you if I myself have no strong foundations of my person, of my dreams, of my passion? How can I stand and crusade for you? How can I be a leader for you if I myself am not trustworthy, if I am not passionate about what I do? And having the passion to serve people is not as simple as it is. I also have to have my own dream. And alongside with that, we have our dreams together, and that is to be a lawyer. And I know that I am serving my dreams by helping you achieve yours. So again, I have a problem with the question because it says that I don't have a passion in my dream. Well, you are wrong. I have a dream, and part of my dream is to help you gain yours. That would be all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Roland, for that well-put answer and for really getting in there in your composure. All right, the next question is, what made you decide to run this election considering that you hesitated at first?
Actually, I already talked about this about my my speech earlier, but to give you a more detail, I think there are more people more qualified than me in running, in serving as your secretary. and which is true, very true. There are a lot of people who could really serve as better secretaries. And I even think that my co-candidates for secretary are so capable of being secretaries themselves that if you would vote for them, um, they would still fit the role. It's just that I think I can offer something more. It's about apples and oranges. And what I can offer, if you vote for me, you would have a leader backed with years of experience of selfless service, someone you know that would stand their ground when the pressure and anxieties of the world would sink in, someone you could trust and you can confide with. You have that leader, and I will not just be your secretary, but a committed partner, a committed leader for you. And if that's what you need as a leader, vote for me.
Thank you for that answer, Mr. Rolona. And for the last question, if you will win as the SLSC secretary, what would you consider a significant contribution to the studentry?
Well, first and foremost, I have to say transparency and trust, because how can I be a leader if no one would follow me or no one would trust me? And I can attain that through transparency. And I would not be alone in my fight. I would not be alone, ma'am. In my service, I have my team. There are other positions there, and we function differently. We are very diverse leaders, and we would function differently for a common goal. And hopefully, those who would be elected are from my current running mates. And to lead efficiently, again, I would be honest with you. I would be transparent. I would just develop trust. I would, of course, along with the functions of what is needed to be a secretary, and along with my platforms. But I think we should go proactively listening to because we cannot really say that this is my goal and just be like a horse with blinders and do that. We need to be adaptive. We need to be ready for change. And sometimes these changes are our constituents, the students, would tell us their needs. And through listening, through transparency, and through trust, we can move forward as one through being adaptive and just going through change. And I think that would be the most efficient way to be a leader, to be your leader in moving forward.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rolona. The 3 questions limit for you is already up. So thank you for your questions. Well put answers. And kudos to answering the questions very well. So let
Thanks
us
so
move
much.
on to the next candidate. May we call on CT Amina Amil for your portion or your part to give the speech.
Hello? Hello? Am
You
I
are
audible?
audible. Yes, you are.
Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To our Assistant Dean, Attorney Joanna Alinog de Socor, to our incumbent SLSC President, Sir Fritz Amparado, and to the other present SLSC officers and officers from other organizations, to my co-candidates and other attendees, greetings of peace and good evening. My name is Siti Aimina Amil. I am from second year Arellano, and I am humbly, independently, and courageously running for the position of Student Council Secretary. To get to know me more, I graduated in college from MSU IIT in the year 2020 with a degree in Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, major in Database Management. I spent my whole high school, elementary, and primary education also here in Iligan City. When I was in college, I enjoyed being an active member and a performer of Kalilang, a resident cultural group organization together with IPAG and Kalimulan and RCGs and other RCGs of MSU IIT from year 2017 to 2020. I was also an active member of the student peer facilitator way back in high school. I really do enjoy being with and working with people with different views in life. Being in an organization has never been a hindrance in my studies, as it even helped me in doing well with working under pressure, in managing my time, mastering self reliance, overcoming my shyness, and the belief in myself that I can always do better. Despite the demand of my course and while actively participating in Kalilang, I was also once on the dean's list. Currently, I am a full-time law student and an incumbent SK chairwoman in our barangay in Taguranao, Bayang Lanao del Sur. I like being involved and it is self-fulfilling for me to be able to serve people. Now, I'm going to proceed with my advocacy. My advocacy as one of your soon-to-be student leaders is to promote unity. My advocacy is to promote unity among the students of Iligan Extension, to unite the students of our college to achieve our main goal, which is to produce more and more competitive Juris Doctor graduates and eventually to witness one another pass the bar exam, bringing the pride of MSU College of Law. I believe that we as students and us as your future student leaders, we also have the responsibility in making the said goal happen. So to support this advocacy and goal, I believe that we have to focus on making sure that the well-being of our students, especially during this pandemic, and their relationships with one another is harmonious. To promote unity as your secretary, I will make sure to work hand in hand with the other officers, especially with the president and vice president, in implementing their prepared and surely valuable platforms in the best way that I and we could. And if given a chance to implement my own platform to protect the well-being of my co-students, I have one prepared for tonight. To protect the well-being of every student and to promote unity, my platform is to establish a general donation drive which will be open to everyone. This donation drive will be named as Sadaqah. It is an Islamic term which means voluntary charity. Sadaqah will accept monetary and used books, soft copies of books and reviewers, and other materials that some may have luxury with that they may share to lift their co-students. Because while it is true that some of our students are blessed financially and has the things they need, we also have students on the other side who may be barely breathing, but joke lang pero seryoso ng konti, who struggles every enrollment for their tuition and for their books and materials during school days. Financial struggle is usually one of the sources of problems that affect the studies of us students. Sayang naman ang potential kung eventually they'll give up because of such, diba? If this platform would be given the chance, students who need assistance may message the SLC page to ask for assistance. Through this donation drive, we'll be able to lift those who are struggling in their studies. And I believe that's all for tonight. Again, for COL Iligan, Extension's Unity Amidst Diversity, vote City Aimina Amil for Secretary. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Miss Amil. I would like to ask the students to please type in your questions in the chat box. Okay, there is a question. How will we be able to hold you accountable? I will repeat the question. How will we be able to hold you accountable?
Hello, sir.
I will repeat the question for you, ma'am. How will we be able to hold you accountable as our as a candidate for secretary?
Um, can you rephrase your question, sir? I'm sorry. I have to, I know. If
How
Hello,
can
sir.
you, yeah, I will rephrase the question for you, ma'am. Okay, can you, how can you assure as will become elected as secretary, if you'll be elected rather as secretary, how will you show your accountability?
Hello, sir. Thank you for that questions. Well, I think I can be held accountable. I am confident with the experiences that I have been way back in college that has helped me to manage my time and work under pressure. I am confident that the SLEC, the student council in general, can trust me with monitoring and in um, um, just keeping things on track with the luxury of time that I have. So um, um, just the confidence that I have that I can manage to do the things that um, um, the duties that I will be, handling.
Thank you, Miss Amil, for that answer. Any more questions from the students? They have commented that you have a good platform. That's a good compliment. Any more questions from the students? There being none, I will ask a question. What sets you apart from your fellow candidates, and what makes you think you are a better fit for the position?
Thank you for that question, sir. So I believe that what sets me apart from the other candidates is that um, I am a full-time student, and I can guarantee that I can attend to whatever the platforms of our officers, especially the president and the vice president. Also, as a secretary, and a woman, yes, as a woman, it is innate to us to be obedient with the those who are ahead of us. So I think we will not have a problem with assisting the president. And I guess that's all. It's because I am a woman, and we will not have a problem with the other, the the president and the vice president. Yeah. And
Thank you,
yeah,
Miss
and
Amil. And
also
yes, you may
okay.
continue. You may
And
continue.
also yun po. Yun na lang po. Thank you po.
Okay, thank you. And for your last question, this is a bit related to your profession. You mentioned that you're an IT. How will you implement technology into your platform?
With regards to my being an IT, I am familiar with my familiarity with internet and how it's going back end. I can with ensure that the personal data and everything that the SLC has to keep can be kept by me, because I can ensure you that it is safe. Yeah.
And questions now. So we call her. Am I still audible? Hello, everyone.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Wilbur.
Okay. So may we call on Mr. Jeselito Zaragoza? Are you there, sir?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Am I heard?
Yes, you are, sir.
Okay, once again, good evening, everyone. I am hoping and praying that all is well tonight. For the information of everybody, my name is Jeselito C. Zaragoza Jr., a fourth-year law student, and I am running for the position of Supreme Law Student Council Secretary.
I am extremely grateful for having been given the opportunity to run and serve if I win. I have been serving as a volunteer of the SLSC since I was in second year, and I have learned a lot of things from such experience. I have been a member of various organizations, and through this, I have developed skills and qualities which are essential in running an organization as well as in serving the people who will benefit from its existence. During my younger years, I served as an SK Kagawad in our barangay, and this lasted for several years. So when I was in college, I was a student peer facilitator, worked under the supervision of the Office of the Guidance and Counseling Center of MSU IIT. So throughout my involvement on different organizations, I have gained the experience, organizational skills, and relational skills to properly carry out the duties of a student council secretary. I believe that the Supreme Law Student Council has the unique ability to be a positive means of communicating student ideas and concerns to the administration and the college as a whole. So it is one of the only fora of in the College of Law where students' concerns can be given full attention. So in running for this position, my goal is to create an orderly professional format for the student council's meeting, agendas, and minutes in order to produce quality and accurate records of all proceedings. So I would like to ensure that such are properly documented and will be readily available upon request, subject of course to the purpose of availing the documents. Also, I would make sure that all the requests, suggestions, comments, and violent reactions of all students would be properly acknowledged and endorsed to the president and be tackled in meetings. And upon approval, the official minutes of each student council will be posted to our student council's Facebook page to promote transparency and awareness of the activities. Now, for effective communication to occur, I firmly believe that transparency should not only be a courtesy, it must be imperative. So as secretary, I will work to make sure that student council proceedings are as transparent as possible. So this means informing students of any and all meeting times and communicating to the student body what occurs during these meetings by utilizing digital tools for note-taking, task management, and by making use of student council's various social media platforms. Furthermore, I would collaborate with the PIO in coming up with some more creative ideas for sharing and disseminating student council agendas. And I think having updated profiles on the student council Facebook page, outlining the duties and personal interests of student council members would also help to make sure students know who is representing them and in what capacity. And then another goal of mine would be to put together or collate data and forms necessary for SLSC and student activities and make them available for easy access and be available for future SLSC members for use or for reference. Also, I would like to outline the responsibilities of different subcommittees which can be approached or who can be approached for specific concerns. And I think that those are the platforms that I have thought about. Lastly, please don't forget to vote my team the following: Charity Abugan for Vice President, Gian Marcera for Treasurer, Julia Rosa Madera for Auditor, Ruby January Omero for PIO. These and some other reforms that I might come up with together with the team will be implemented once I am elected for the position. Thank you, and may God be with us all.
Thank you, Mr. Zaragoza, for that speech. May we proceed to the question and answer portion? There's a question to you, Mr. Zaragoza. Mr. Zaragoza, you have been a silent servant of this college. What difference will it make if elected as secretary?
I guess there will be no difference at all. Well, I think some of you have seen me serving the college. I have been working as an SLSC volunteer. So in every activity that the college has, I try to make sure that I am always there. I am seen by the students. And just because I have the name or secretary under me doesn't necessarily mean I would change the way I serve the college for the past years.
Thank you for that answer. The second question for you. As a candidate, which do you think works best holding transparency and productivity in SLSC? Having one party to win in landslide, or to have a set of heterogeneous officers coming from presenting different parties?
Okay. Well, I believe in the platforms of my team. So I think it would work best if I work with their platforms. I mean, we have gathered, we have been gathered and asked about our different platforms, and I stand by their platforms. So I think I will work best with the team that I have chosen to be with.
Thank you, Mr. Zaragoza. The third and last question for you. What was the greatest failure that you consider while on board MSU Law? What did you learn from it?
Can you repeat the question?
What was the greatest failure you consider while on board MSU Law, and what did you learn from it?
Well, there have been a lot of failures that I have experienced while being a part of MSU Law. But I don't want to be specific, but one thing that I realized in every failure that I experience is that it is not the end of it. I try to make it as a lesson so that I can stand from that experience and showcase to other people that just because I experience such failure doesn't necessarily mean that I cannot be a better version of myself.
Thank you very much for answering that Miss Universe-like question. So you have heard all the candidates for the position of secretary, and I believe that everyone already has an idea who will they vote coming election. And also you have heard their principles, you have heard their thoughts, and you have heard what they are made of. And I believe you will have an informed decision coming coming election tomorrow. So let's proceed to the next position, the treasurer. So we will start with Mr. Najib Amboloto. Sir, if you are here.
Hello, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. May I start now?
Yes, you may, sir.
So, to our Assistant Dean, Attorney Joanna Alinog Disocor, to the SLSC officers, the COMELEC, my fellow candidates, and also all my fellow law students, good evening. First of all, I would like to congratulate everyone for hurling the final exam. And I know that some of us have yet to do some final touches. However, this is already a remarkable feat in itself. Anyway, I'm Najib Aramboloto, a second-year law student from Tihanki, and who happens to be a certified public accountant. I am vying for the position of treasurer, the position that has been held by Mr. Naim Nohar Ali Suba, our president, has been has been in the position for 3 years now. So I am basically following his footsteps if elected in the treasurership. So I believe that I can carry out the duties and responsibilities of a treasurer given my expertise in accounting and background in both finance and management. These skills are very important for the understanding, the interpretation and analysis of financial figures in order to assess the financial status of the student organization with the Supreme Law Student Council. So I decided to run in order to contribute to the betterment of the student government. And that's also because I stand with 5 other amazing individuals, with 5 other amazing leaders who do not only have the ideals and heart for the student council, but whose background and achievements speak for their capability to lead. That is Husay at Malasakit. I am for Naim, Muhammad, Rendel, Ivan, and RV, who are running for the post that befits their qualification. And I stand with them in their dedication to public service because it is always fulfilling to serve while reaching more people, as well as acquiring knowledge and leadership skills. Now, treasurership is a position that should encompass transparency and accountability. This is what the studentry deserves, transparency. So I believe that the past administration has been doing it, but what we are planning to give the students is to have a complete transparency to the students and not just every after semester. We wanted to give information to the students what is happening inside. How are we going to deal with the projects? How are we coping up with all the challenges when it comes to financial matters? So that's what we wanted to deliver. And oftentimes there should be less room for mistakes in this position because it involves money. And this money is your money. And the student council will be paralyzed without financial support. So the key here is for the treasurer to monitor and oversee the cash flows to make sure that there is available funds for the more important projects. And that is the one thing that we want to assure. The studentry needs trust and confidence in financial reporting, and that is very vital. And as a certified public accountant, I can bring that to the table. Not only am I trained to deal with numbers and figures on a daily basis, but also to dig beyond numbers, to analyze the bigger picture, have an eye for details, and promulgate a financial strategy to meet the goals. So what we plan is to have a continued progress with you, students, through better budget proposals, a better budgetary system that shall encompass our planned projects or proposed projects for the studentry. So what I can advise is for you to decide on who would you entrust your money. It's very important. Who would you entrust your money? With much trust and confidence, because in the first place, at the end of the day, that is your money. So my job is to make sure that it is spent wisely and it reaches your behalf. So thank you very much for giving me the time to speak.
Thank you for that wonderful speech, Mr. Amboloto. Now here's your question. Other than the regular duties of a treasurer, what other ways can you demonstrate your political will in forwarding student interest?
There are other things that I'm really, really passionate with, such as in arts. I am very well diverse in arts, whether that be in the form of digital expression or in the form of using hand-free arts. So I think that it is one way of expressing your political wisdom, and in that way we can be able to disseminate to the studentry what the administration wanted to give to the students, and that is what I can contribute to be of service in a more creative way, and because arts is very helpful. It does persuade people to follow and to be with the administration. It's very important that we get to be united in in so many ways. So that is what I can contribute. I am more than just a certified public accountant, as I am also diverse in arts, in public speaking, and in other areas.
And that's your second question.
Hello, I didn't get that.
Repeat the questions.
Yes.
Do you think it's possible to program law books and law?
I think you're losing your connection, sir.
The question is from City Melanisa. You can read it in the chat box if I have an intermittent connection. Do you think it is possible to have a student loan?
In our projects, what we can lay to the students, what's very important for a treasurer is to analyze things and to give a more realizable projects. As of now, that is not yet part of our projects. What we wanted to give to the student tree is a healthcare for the students, that is to provide health insurance and financial assistance to the students. However, I do appreciate your suggestion that we can actually have this one, but we should consider so many things, such as financial planning for this, because I don't think that we could be able to partner with a supplier of books who could actually give us something without any interest. Because at the end of the day, what they wanted, we should also realize that these are people who also wanted to profit, and that's a basic principle in finance and management and accounting. So we will take that into consideration, and hopefully we can partner with one. But if I would give you a more realizable answer for that, I don't think that we could be able to partner, or we could loan money, because the very reason why somebody loans money or borrows money is for them to earn interest. So what we need to do, what we wanted to give to the students, is the more the more important projects, and that is to provide health insurance and healthcare benefits, which will be tackled by our PIO.
Thank you for that answer, Mr. Amboloto. Now for your last question. My apologies for the student. I believe you have wonderful questions, but we can only limit 3 questions. So maybe if we have time later on, we can accommodate your questions. So this is the last question for you, Mr. Amboloto. It seems like you're banking your position as treasurer solely on the fact that you are an accountant. How would you reconcile the idea of non-accountants holding a treasurer position? Do you think they are less of a treasurer because they are not accountants by profession?
No, of course not. I don't think that. I have huge respect for my candidate, Miss Marcera, and I do believe in her capability to lead with all the backgrounds that she has. But what I'm just trying to sell is transparency and accountability, and that is very important in treasurership. That is one we wanted to give to the student. I'm not saying that my co-candidate cannot give that one, but what I'm just trying to say is this is our innate nature. This is what we have. We have eye for detail. We wanted things to be as organized as they are. This is basically our nature as accountants, and that is very important in treasurership. That is what I'm trying to give to the students, because with my background in accounting and expertise in accounting and background in both finance and management, I don't think that the students would ever question my, I mean, they could still question that, but I think that they have the trust and confidence that I can very well execute the treasurership based on my background and my achievements. So that's it for me, sir.
Well, am I still on?
Okay, I think our MC is having some technical difficulties, so I would like to call the next candidate, which is Miss Jean Marcera.
Hi, good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are. Okay, so
Thank you, Rita.
you may start.
Shall I start now? Okay. Hi, good evening, everyone. I am Gian Lucitzi Marcera, a third-year student running for the position of SLSC Treasurer. Currently, I am the third-year Tihanki class representative for going 4 semesters now, and I am also the treasurer of the batch since 2020. During the onset of pandemic, I worked with the college as the treasurer of MSU Law Tabang para sa COVID Warriors, where I saved, kept, and disbursed hundreds of thousands for the necessary purchases and liquidated the same. I have also done several one-off money handling tasks for the college, such as being entrusted to, but for all year levels and transact it with the university business office myself, as well as for some of the activities of the SLSC. I am the co-founder, the Advocates, and since we are a newly established org, I have made efforts to augment our financial resources for income-generating projects, like offering our professional services by conducting mental health trainings and seminars to private businesses so that we will have a budget to conduct free seminars and social support activities to our community, especially the youth. On top of all those, I am also sharing my passion for writing, which is why I am a writer for both The Nexus, the official school publication of our college, and Sarimanoklo Virtual Clinic News and Updates, and also sharing my skills in public speaking, which is why I am one of the resident moderators for college activities. Prior my law school years, I have also executive council as a board member and chairperson for sports development affairs, the news anchor, writer of Kasayuran and Handuraw of MSU IIT, a news ambassador of MSU IIT, and a training facility as the Ayala Foundation Bangsamoro Youth Leadership Program, among others. So now that I'm running for as treasurer, I will focus on the following platform. There will be a time process that there will
Problems?
Hello.
Yes, we can
I'm
hear.
sorry, I lost my connection. Yes. So shall I continue? I lost my connection. I'm not sure who has connection problems, if it's me or you, Wilbur. So can someone confirm, like other than Wilbur?
I think it's you.
Okay na yan. Proceed.
Where was I? Okay, so now that I'm running for SLSC Treasurer, I will focus on the following platforms, which is establishing a transparency board for every event, wherein there will be a timely report of the cash flows posted in PubMax. Second, disbursement process. So there will be a systematic way of doing it in a way that would not hamper an urgent need of it and would not compromise tracking of cash flows. And third, augment funds by initiating income-generating projects to fund activities aimed at supplementing legal education of students. So other than the treasurer tasks, as a co-founder of a mental health organization, I would also like to initiate support group activities aimed at ensuring that the mental well-being of students. So I hope that you see my service to the college, especially as being entrusted with money for years now, as this position is based on trust and confidence as enough testament that I can perform well for this role. And that will be all. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Ms. Marcera. I would just like to check if you can hear me.
Yes, clearly.
Okay. Here's the first question for you. I'm sorry, I got lost. Why do you think you are a fit for the role as a treasurer, given the fact that your opposing candidate is a CPA?
Okay. So the common misconception is you have to be a CPA for you to be fit for the role as a treasurer. But I hardly believe that. Yes, there could be some advantages. We cannot deny that. And I have a huge respect for that profession, especially to my to Mr. Amboloto, but I believe that being an effective and efficient treasurer is honed from years of experience being in various organizations, being entrusted with a certain amount of money, strategizing how to grow that money, how to strategically and reasonably allocate expenses, how to keep track of its cash flows, and just living up the values such as integrity and transparency, which is again proven in years of experience being in various organizations. On top of that, I believe that as an SLSC officer, I believe that an SLSC officer must not limit herself just in the role of which she was elected for, but is flexible enough to take on different tasks, all in the service for the college. It demands willingness, commitment, and passion to serve. And I believe that I have shown that being in the college for about 5 semesters now.
Thank you for that answer, Ms. Marcera. And for your second question, I believe it is a true two-pronged question. How should we vote? Why should we vote for you? And if you become the SLSC treasurer, how can you assure that we can trust you with the SLSC funds?
I deserve your vote simply because I have proven my service to the college, and there's a lot more that I can bring to the table. And I would be willing to do an extra mile for my service, which I always do. And that, I think, well, hopefully is enough testament for me to deserve your vote. And as to what was that again? What was the second question?
How can you assure us that we can trust you with the SLSC funds?
Okay. So the college, among others, has been entrusting me with money for years now. I think that's also enough testament to prove that I am indeed trustworthy. So that's just basically it. Thank you.
I believe that's the second question. The third question would be, I think, would be right after Ali, because you have been a member of some college organizations for a long time now. The question is, Recently, there is a recent decline in student participation and membership in college organizations, and one factor is the lack of incentives. I just think that incentivizing them would, number one, boost their morale because that means they are being valued, and number two, entice students to join orgs, and number three, put a healthy pressure to the org members to carry out their functions and even upskill. The question is, would you agree that we should incentivize the college organizations, say for instance, giving the members student discounts?
As to incentivizing the students, I believe that we have limited funds for that. So we actually have to consider the funds that we have, the financial resources that we will be getting for that purpose. So instead of like incentivizing them using like financial resources, what about providing them with more with other things like like free seminars, free workshops, or anything that will supplement their growth? I think that's it. Like there's more to it than just financial incentives.
Thank you very much for that answer, Ms. Marcera. Now that we have heard our candidates for the position of treasurer, I believe that you already have an idea who to vote this coming election, and you have already heard their thought process, their ideals, their principles, and that this would be a very good guide for you to discern who is the more deserving candidate, because I believe that they are both deserving. So let's proceed to the next position, the position of auditor. Mr. Iblamo, are you here and are you ready?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, there. Thank you, Wilbur, for moderating this event. First, I would like to thank really the COMELEC for having this materialized night. It's very important for the college to be the students to be here to see the future of our student government. I would like to thank the 143 students from fourth year, level third year, second year, and especially the first year. By the way, I am Ivan Blamo. I am a first year student. It is going to be my second semester here in MSU law, but MSU, when you say MSU system, it's not really new to me because I've been with IIT since high school, and now that I am here with MSU law, I have really high regards, especially to my senior students. Really, I've been grasping the concept of being a law student at the same time, practicing yourself, your daily self, and how you would correlate with the study. I would like to acknowledge the presence of our assistant dean, attorney Discor. Thank you so much for being here, and my classmates for being here as well, and my friends. Why do I run? That's well I, I, I if you would ask, I really do not present myself that I want to lead, but I always been chosen to lead. Maybe because the reason I hope that they would see that leadership is really about taking responsibility. It's about really service. It's not really you lead because you want to be the first or you want to be uh, on top of the game, but leadership for me is really empowering everyone, empowering the organization, the movers of the organization. That is leadership to me. I really cannot go forward if if the subordinates or the individuals being present in the organization is not seeing the importance of moving forward as well. And I have learned that one of the most aspect that a leader should have is integrity. I have this mentor when I was serving in the national government service for 5 years, and that was in the capital. I have this mentor. He is a general. He spoke to me about integrity. What is integrity? Integrity is being one. It is one with yourself, one with the people that you are with, one with being one with you, being at home. Because when you know, being a leader is really it's lonely to be a leader. When you go home, what's up with you? But when you have this integrity, you know that you are one with the organization, you know that you are one with the student body, then you would never lose sight of what you are capable and what you are being responsible to do. And my platform, I want to pronounce my platform. My platform is, I want to call it, you draft, we drive. I have spoken with this with the president, Mr. Naim. For example, a second year student would want to contact CSWD. Then it would be nicer if the letter would be coming from SLSC. Then they would know that that is the MSU law student body. And then from there, we would form linkages, not just CSWD, but we would want to form linkages from all other government services present here in Iligan City, so that when they have seminars, you know, our student body is very, very, very important. It's very, very special. No, we have to package it so that our presence, our knowledge, our service, we are future participants of the government. Then from beginning of the being a student, a law study, we should be present with the participation of the government service here in our local, and we would do that with the Husay and Malasakit. All of us are Mahusay, and let's partner that with Malasakit. That our party is, having our party would want really, would want really to impart to the student, the MSU law studentry that is here in IIT. Okay, so thank you for the time. Please ask questions, especially personal, if you would want to know me better. Thank you, Wilbur.
Come on, guys, you can ask question now. Okay, this is the first question for you, Ivan.
Oh, yes.
Suppose that you encounter a pervasive belief that diversity and excellence are somehow in conflict. How do you conceptualize the relationship between diversity and excellence?
Oh, you know what, Wilbur? You cannot be excellent if you are not diverse. You cannot be excellent alone. How can you be excellent alone? When you are in a community, except if you are living alone, then you're excellent alone. Oh yeah, good for you. But you cannot be excellent if you are not diverse. So you really have to be sensitive as well to the excellence that this other person wants, and then you could grow together. You could develop together the excellence that you would want to. It's a community. It's a community of excellence.
Thank you for that answer. Next question, please. You may ask personal questions according to our candidate to know him better.
Personal question.
No more questions? Okay. This is your second question. Mentioning Malasakit, will you push for a full online enrollment, not to put the students' safety at risk, given the rising of cases in Iligan?
You know what, Wilbur, personally, because I'm not really experienced with online transactions, online banking. I do not have, even Gcash I do not have. So me personally, I would not want to really push the full online enrollment, but it would, of course, risk assessment would be on the individual. If for him it is risky, then he would look for ways to put everything online. But if I were to answer this, not yet. Safety at risk. I mean that is relevant, no? That could be addressed properly naman. So for the question, not really, to cater myself.
Thank you, Ivan. And the last question for you. Being an auditor requires great amount of independence. What if independence will eventually threatens your loyalty to SLSC, but such will be for the greater welfare?
Oh, you know what, loyalty. That's a good question. But if that question would refer personally with my attachments to other bodies, then I know that this other body of mine is also looking forward for that integrity, is also looking forward for that good workmanship. So really, that wouldn't be a question because they would understand why such things should be done this way.
I guess that concludes your three questions. Thank you for answering the questions fairly well, Mr. Ivan. So we will proceed with your opponent. I'd like to call on Miss Gia Rosa Madera. Are you there? And are you ready, ma'am?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I will start. Good evening, everyone, especially to our ever beautiful Assistant Dean, Attorney Joanna Alinog de Socorro, to our SLSC officers and COMELEC officers. So, and good evening to everyone, to all the aspiring lawyers and student leaders. I hope we are all staying positive and testing negative. So I am Julia Rosa C. Madera, but you can just call me Jules or Julia. So I know that's hard to pronounce and it's quite unique. So that's how you will remember me. I am a second year law student from Section Tihanki. I graduated Bachelor of Science in Psychology at Xavier University Ateneo de Cagayan. And now you might be wondering, why did I run for SLSC? So to answer that, even before I was in high school, I was an active member of our student body organization. I was also the president of the parish youth apostolate in our church, and also an active member of various organizations during my undergrad. So it's not new to me to be a leader and a servant. So you see, it is quite challenging, but nonetheless, it is fulfilling. So as you know, I do not have any prefixes or suffixes in my name yet, but that doesn't mean that I am less than capable and qualified for the position of auditor for the SLSC. Being the SLSC's auditor, one of its tasks is basically to verify the financial records of the organization. Thus, the main objective is to analyze and prepare reports on profit management cut costs. So as a young entrepreneur, I have the experience and enough knowledge to prepare detailed audit reports. So, and as a former fraud analyst, I know how to analyze data and inspect if there is any fraud, errors, and a mistake for corrective actions. So now let me present my platforms as an SLSE auditor. I want to ensure effectiveness in a good attainment and efficiency in a resource allocation and utilization. Second, I want to ensure that every transaction, especially for financial nature, is duly approved and appropriately authorized before execution. And lastly, and the most important thing is to ensure the adequacy of vital records. Thank you.
Thank you for that speech, Ms. Madera. Any questions from the students? Are you still there? Questions from the students? Hello? Since there are no questions yet, I will ask a question. What sets you up? Okay, there is one. What activity should we have in our college in times of pandemic and why?
So actually, for now, we do have limited plans for activities to be so we need to improvise. Probably we will have some activities through online, especially that now right now we also have the peak, and it's we have the Omicron virus. So as of now, we still have that limitations. So we focus on more online activities.
Thank you for that answer. Second question for you, Miss Madera. Suppose the plan of the president is against your will or life principle or is violative to accounting and auditing principles. How will you deal with it?
Well, with that question, I believe that as a leader or the president, I believe that he or she will not do anything that against the will of the people or against the principle of humankind. And well, if that is the case, then I will fight for what is right and for what I believe that is right.
Thank you very much. Another question from the student. From the students. No more question. I think no more questions for you. Okay, this is the last question for you, Ms. Madera. What are some contemporary issues within the MSU Law Iligan Extension student body that you feel need to be addressed?
Well, for actually for what I have observed, um, um, from from what I observed, the most contemporaneous issue in within the MSU Iligan law extension is the transparency of the funds. Since the students they don't know, or we don't know where our funds were conceptualized, or I mean allocated and utilized. So we have to have the transparency in our student council. So we have Facebook page, so we can use that as our tool in giving the datas to the students.
Thank you very much for your answers, Ms. Madera. You have already reached your 3 questions. And good job for answering the questions fairly well. So we are down to the last position. I hope you will bear with us and you will stay with us until the end. So we will be now hearing what the PIO candidates are, their platforms and their introductions. So let us start with Ms. Omlero. Ms. Omlero, are you there?
Hello, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So, good evening, everyone. I am Rowie Janary Dumagin Omlero. I am a registered psychometrician and a human resources manager. I manage businesses and startups, and recently I was part of the team of as the data protection officer of the contract tracing app called Subay, which was proposed and offered to the LGU for free when Stay Safe was still not available. And as a person who has passion for service and people, my years of community service and social activism date back to my high school in MSU IIT IBS and college years at the MSU IIT, where I graduated with a degree in psychology, or what I have to support my credibility as a servant. And born and raised in Iligan City, I started as a youth leader in Youth for Christ, Sangguniang Kabataan, and student organizations in MSU IIT. Currently, I am the Vice President of JCI Iligan Dayang and Unit Leader of Singles for Christ and an active member of Sarimanok Legal Aid Clinic. Community service has been my vocation for years now, and I have led multiple community projects that were even acknowledged and awarded locally and nationally, being the project chairperson. Being experienced and trained in project coordination and leadership roles, I humbly aspire to serve the student body of the college before I graduate. For the previous years, even without a position, I have been active in volunteering programs and school activities in support of the SLSE before and during the pandemic. I aim to broaden the reach of the student body to be socially involved and inculcate the essence of service as legal professionals and active members of society. On top of committing to these responsibilities, what I can assure you to the student body, given the opportunity to serve as your PIO, is to simply show up. In the previous years, I was inspired by the servant leaders who showed up and took the responsibility even during the pandemic. And as you can see, obviously, These leaders and volunteers are the same people I am campaigning with. Truly, by the students, for the students. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Mulero. Do you have questions, guys, from the audience, from our students?
Hello, everyone. You have questions for me?
Come on, guys, let's give her the chance to hear her thoughts. Okay, there's a question for you, Ms. Mulero. You've been a
sure.
deity to the class.
Wow.
What is offered to the college and to the students?
So as you can see, I have an experienced public servant and community servant for years now. And on top of being beautiful, thank you so much for that. I am trained with project coordination. And apart from that, I am a very a people person, and I have wide networks, especially in Iligan City. And as you can see, aside from being a student, I am also active in community service. And I'm a very very techy person, and I aim for the student council to improve and strengthen our task management, especially especially as a council, and in providing updates and in providing information, fact-based information to the students. And I am hopeful that you will also see my credibility on top of being beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that question, and thank you for handling a compliment very well. So any more questions for the beautiful Miss Omlero? Okay, there is one. If you have been serving well without a position, why do you need to run for one?
As you can see, without the position, I am already very active. And if given the chance to be elected as your PIO, I will ensure that I will let go of some of the responsibilities I have right now to fully commit myself to the service. And that's what I can do to be as if ever I will be elected as your new PIO. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I guess that's it. There being none, the questions there being none. So let's proceed to our next candidate.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Wilbur.
Thank you. Miss Arvi, are you there? Miss Gandamara?
Yes, hello, good evening.
Okay, you may start.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Can I be heard?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, hello, everyone. Good evening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, and I am Arvi Kendamra, registered nurse, and I am running for PIO. Good evening, I'm Attorney Desocor, my professor in transportation law. And good evening, classmates. Okay, if ever I will be elected as your public information officer, I would ensure that every student's voice is heard and that each one is valued, to provide an avenue of open discussion with students on matters that concern them the most, especially those traditionally have gone unheard in the past. Reasonable student aid is one of my platforms. Financial assistance in hospitalization and untimely death for bona fide students of college. Another one is One Access, a compilation drive of law materials and references that will also be readily available. Husay at malasakit. Dalawang katangian na kailangan ng isang namumuno. Hindi lang husay ang mahalaga. Ano nga ba't magaling ka kung wala ka namang malasakit? Sa panahon ngayon na puno ng alinlangan at pangamba, kailangan natin ng mga namumuno na mayroong malasakit din sa kapwa. Bigyan natin ng halaga ang boses ng mga estudyante. Aksyonan natin ang kanilang mga ninanais. Bigyan natin sila ng seguridad na tayo'y nandito na handang tumulong sa oras ng kanilang pangangailangan. Muli, ako po ay kumakatok sa inyong mga puso at damdamin. Ako at ang aking mga kasama na in Suba for President, Muhammad Ampaso for Vice President, Rendel Rolona for Secretary, Najeb Amboloto for Treasurer, Ivan Eblamo for Auditor, at ang inyong pong lingkod, ang inyong PIO, kaagapay sa oras, ang pumumunong may husay at malasakit. RV Gandamra, magandang gabi po.
Thank you for that speech, Ms. Gandamra. Everyone in the audience, from the students, may we hear your questions? Okay, here is one for you, Ms. Gandamra. Are you ready?
Okay, yes.
Okay. What qualifies you for this position, and can you fully commit to the demands of this position?
Maraming salamat sa Malamis Universe na tanong. Ito po ang aking kasagutan. Hindi lamang po pagiging mahusay at magkakaroon ng malasakit ang isa pa sa katangian. Me, as a mother, and I have 4 kids, having qualities of being a mom takes a lot of patience. Kailangan ng maraming pasensya. So, ako bilang isang estudyante ng College of Law, isa akong dedicated na estudyante, masunurin sa professor. Marami akong mga adhikain na pwedeng ipamalas at ibahagi sa inyong lahat. Persuasive ako na tao at alam yan ng mga kagrupo ko, pati na ang kabatch ko na intrepidous. At nang dahil sa kanila, kaya po ako tumatakbo at gustong manungkulan sa inyo. Kaya kung gusto mong malaman kung anong kapasidad ko bilang isang leader, iboto mo ako bukas sa election. RV Gandamra, your PIO.
Thank you, Ms. RV. The next question for you. Aksyonan natin ang kanyang pangangailangan. You mentioned, give one specific pressing issue that you will address if elected as officer.
Okay, one pressing issue is that in terms of communication, information dissemination, kailangan magkaroon tayo ng magandang informasyon sa lahat ng namumuno. Kailangan bigyan natin sila ng transparency, bigyan natin sila ng magandang resulta para magkaroon sila ng tiwala sa atin. Isa lamang po yan sa mga katangian ng isang namumunong leader. Husay at malasakit.
Thank you, Ms. Gandamra. Here's the last question for you in Filipino. Paano mo magagawa at maipapadama ang husay at malasakit sa pamamagitan ng konkretong programa para sa mga estudyante?
Okay, magandang katanungan. Kung narinig mo ang plataforma ko, isa sa aking plataforma ay yung pagbibigay ng student aid sa mga estudyante, financial assistance sa mga panahon ng pagkamatay. Na-experience ko kasi, isa sa batchmate namin, sumalangit na ang kanyang kaluluwa, si Mr. Villarta. I think sa panahon ngayon, kailangan yung student aid, kung namatay man o nasa hospital ng isang estudyante, iparamdam natin sa kanila na tayo ay may malasakit. Iparamdam natin sa kanila na hindi lamang ang kanilang pera ang ating kailangan. Iparamdam natin sa kanila na nandito tayo sa kanilang regular na nakaagapay. Yun lamang po.
Gandamra, for answering the questions fairly well and for blessing us with your Filipino. Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat.
Okay, maraming salamat po. For the next candidate, may we hear Ms. Peñalosa? Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Okay, you may take the screen.
Assalamualaikum to AD Joey, the COMELEC, different organizations, and fellow students. Good evening and hello. I am Mecha Peñalosa, running for the PIO position. A PIO is responsible for delivering facts and information properly, developing procedures for information dissemination, seeing to it that the student body is well informed and updated to college matters, preparing materials needed for the pertinent events in the college, and maintaining good relations within the campus. Why vote for me? Because I have all these skills required to take on this position as a class representative of my batch for 2 consecutive years. I am knowledgeable, well acquainted, and coordinated with the processes and systems of the college. This will be an advantage if I will be the PEO of SLSC. My experience as an information provider roots as far back in my grade school years, where I was a secretary. I was also designated with several positions in high school and in several social organizations. As a political science graduate, working in a system and defined structure has been the core of my personal, professional, and academic dealings, which is a vital trait when serving the SLSC and the student body. In Misamis University, where I was first admitted in law school, I was also elected as their student council year-level secretary. Currently, I am a member of the SVLC, in which I head the Laws and Ordinances section. My record shows that I have been inclined to public service, good governance, and efficient role execution. With all of this, I am certain that I can take on the PIO position. Furthermore, I plan on being available as much as possible to be the link between the students, staff, faculty, and administration. My platform aims to address the struggles of SLSC in disseminating information and keeping you, my fellow students, updated on resources, events, and other things offered by the campus. I plan on working closely with our future set of SLSC officers to make sure we have a more interactive and tabling social media presence. I will patch the seemingly disjointed relationship of the SLSC and the students by creating avenues to hear the pulse and opinion of the student body in all of SLSC's dealings. I want to act as a focal point of some major social media platforms to ensure that information is disseminated fresh from the oven. I am also keen on creating a student help online platform called Project Ugop, or in Bisaya, Tabang, yes, to provide assistance to the student body. Through this, I can help monitor and analyze the performance of the student council as well as the status of the students. I will propose for a monthly report from class representatives per year level, whether the professors are doing their part on effectively teaching their students as well as updating the status of their constituents. These are only few of my initiatives, and certainly there will be more to come when I become your PIO. With me, your voice will not only be heard, but your voice will also be amplified. I am your voice, your choice, Mecha Peñaloza for Public Information Officer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mecha, for that speech. Your question is, this is your first question. Do you think you have a good relationship with your classmates as their current class representative to run as the college's PIO?
You know, I've dealt with several kinds of students. The one who listen, the one who does not, the one who follow, and those who lead for themselves. For 2 consecutive years, I have dealt with them. I have seen their struggles, and I know that as a PIO, I can serve them well, not only my constituents, not only my batch, but all of you, my fellow law students.
Thank you, Ms. Mecha. That would be all. Okay. This is for your second question. What are some ideas you have for improving communication between SLSC and the students you serve?
Come again.
What are some ideas you have for improving communication between SLSC and the students you serve?
We must have a venue for that. there should be a platform for that. I told you in my platform that there should be a project UGOP where the voice of the student body should be heard, and that platform will be the ultimate, if not the greatest, will be the best platform that the SLSE could have, to hear the students and to serve them well.
Thank you very much, Mecha, for that answer. Now the last question, since we're already also run out of time. Given that there are students in remote areas, what initiatives can and will you offer to disseminate information in an accessible and clear manner?
What is it again?
Let me repeat the question. Given that there are students in remote areas, what initiatives can and will you offer to disseminate information in an accessible and clear manner?
I also live in a remote area. If elected as a leader, I would bring to my position first-rate communication skills, both orally and written, as well as integrity, selflessness, and engagement on issues campus-wide, as LSE-wide, and legislatively, as well as vying to put into place the students' need for all else. And the accessibility of information should not be hard for the students. There should be a platform for that. If I were to be elected as your PIO, I will propose that there should be there should be an avenue for those students who need most, who needs help, who needs guidance and assurance in accessing those information.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Mecha, for the answer. So that is the last candidate for tonight. And I believe you are all excited to vote tomorrow. And just to give a recap for the activities, the upcoming schedule of activities, tomorrow will be our student council election, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the canvassing of votes will be 5 p.m. onwards. And the proclamation of winners on January 22, the official announcement and the transmittal of election results and proclamation of winners, and also the filing of post-election protest. So I believe the night is already upon us. There is a question, one last question for the president. Are we still okay to cater this? Mr. Naim, are you still there?
Yes po.
Okay, one question for you. Can you type the question again, Miss? Hello, can you type the question again? Okay, I think there is none. There was a question supposed to be addressed. Hello? Okay. I think that would be all.
Hello, I believe she's still typing po the questions.
All right. We'll wait. Okay, just a little bit of a recap again. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Please don't miss our student council election. And 5 p.m. onwards, we will be having the canvassing of votes. And the proclamation of winners will be on January 22nd. in the official announcement and transmittal of election results, and also the filing of post-election protest. So also our enrollment, please be reminded that we already have a schedule for enrollment. So please coordinate with your class representatives for the requirements and the necessary documentation that is to be completed. So there is a question. Here's the for you, Mr. Naim. In instances where the interest of the students contradicts with the politics of the administration, will you still lobby for our cause, even if it puts you in a disadvantage?
Thank you for that question. Actually, it's a good question. If for a public servant like us, if you are truly a public servant, going back to your core is always a must. What I mean is that if you really want to serve, then what's your purpose? Now, if the interest of the students who you choose to serve, who you choose to be of service, contradicts the politics of the administration, then what's the purpose of you serving them? Now, this question gives you an easy answer. I think that for us, because as a true public servant, the fulfillment in us is serving the people, serving the community we choose to serve. And if I have to compromise the interest of the public, then I will not be serving the college. And again, the service must be above yourself and not against the interest of the studentry. So I think that's all.
Thank you for the wonderful answer. Also, the question defeating as a closing question because Mr. Naim is our apparent president. Congratulations. So I guess there is no to okay. Okay. All right. So let us hear the closing remarks given by the chairperson of the college, Sir Hasanor Toma. Are you there? Okay,
Good
sir,
evening,
take it.
everyone. Thank you so much for attending the meeting, the Avance, and for staying for the whole duration of the event. I would just like to thank my fellow COMELEC members who make hard to make this event possible, and also to AD. Thank you very much to the SLSC and to the students. So that will be all. Thank you very much sa pag-attend. Thank you. And good luck sa mga candidates tomorrow. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, our energetic chairperson. Please don't log out yet because we will be having a pictorial. The technical working group will facilitate the picture taking. Ted, can you facilitate? Also special thanks to Ted for lending his talent to the COMELEC. Thank you very much, Ted, for your assistance and support.
Oh, no problem. It's a pleasure po. So first, just smile. 1, 2, 3, smile. Next set of windows, cameras. 1, 2, 3, smile. Third, 1, 2, 3, smile. Fourth set, 1, 2, 3, smile. Naka-off ng camera nila. And the last set is naka-off pa din still. We will screenshot 1, 2, 3, smile. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for staying with us. See you in the next Avance. Good luck to all our candidates for this election. Thank you guys. Good night.
Good night, Wilbur.
Annyeong. Thank you. Good
Thank you,
night.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Wilbur,
COMELEC.
thank
Thank
you.
you, Asanor, Wilbur. Congrats, bro,
Thank
Nai.
you, COMELEC.
Thank you, COMELEC.
Thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
Wilbur.
Thank you, COMELEC. AD, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, AD.
AD.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, AD. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Hi, Wilbur.
Thank you, Wilbur. Hashtag gwapo ni Wilbur.
Out na ko guys. Bye. Good night.
Sige, salamat kayo, Ted.